Morning troops. So let's go work on a Nissan Patrol. Righty, so here's this GU Patrol. I think that's what they are, aren't they? GU Patrol. Pretty sure that's what they are. I don't know. I think that's what it is, isn't it? Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's a yeah, frick. Even it's falling down. Doesn't matter. The offset, they're getting it sorted for a warrant anyway. So yeah, it's got some rust down in here, which won't pass a warrant. So I'll have to pull the intercooler off it. That's no biggie. Probably that. Falling out of the road, and then just clean up the rest of across here. There's a few other spots, and it's trying to go here too, but I think we'll just clean it up and give it a bit of rust kill. And that also goes in down into here. There's a bit of light there, but there's also some rot underneath the floor as well. Just there's a small area in the floor. So yeah, I'll proceed to whip all this stuff off and get into it, if you know what I mean. Right, let's get some stuff out of the road. So this is just zip tied on. We'll just cut that back off again. Grab some tools. Why they zip tied this on. We can just zip tie it back on. Stay out of the fucking road. What else do we want out of the road? The intercooler out of the road, or at least the plumbing on the side in the meantime. At least the plumbing on the side. God, yeah, I should have fixed that before I fucking... I should have got me to fix it before I put it on. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's get that out of the road. Right. I bring my little... Actually, fuck this is for the road. Oh, it's in the road. what I want. Yeah. Fucking great little fucking thing, mate. Absolutely fucking awesome. One of the best tools I've ever fucking bought. For the money, you fucking can't beat it. It does absolutely everything that the fucking Milwaukee will do. Absolutely fucking everything. We've got a Milwaukee at work. The other guy uses it. And I can, me and him can sit there and strip the truck one each side, and mine will do everything that his does. And vice versa. You know, like the Milwaukee might have a touch more power and everything like that, but for the most part, everything that we pull apart on a truck, if we happen to be doing working on the same truck at the same time, we can strip shit just as easy as each other. And I'll use my Tool Pro, and he'll use the Milwaukee because it's the workshops. And the actual workshop actually went and bought one after I turned up with this. They were like, holy fuck. Yeah, because they already had some Milwaukee stuff and Worth tools, which take the same battery for the 12 volt stuff. Yes, they went and bought a Milwaukee one, but I said, fucking, you know, really, I said, the Tool Pro will do exactly the same. Like, we both, like, I think the Milwaukee one must have been at work. It mightn't be 12 months, but it'll be close. And yeah, the only thing that the Milwaukee has got over this one is, at the moment, I've got a bigger battery for it. I don't have any of the big batteries. I haven't gone and bought them, but I've been tempted, very tempted, a few times to go buy a couple of the bigger batteries. My biggest fucking pain in the ass is I've actually bought. Yeah, the biggest pain in the ass is I actually fucking bought a Tool Pro work light that you can put those batteries in, and I've left it underneath a fucking camper twice. Fortunately, the first time I got it back, like the second time, there was no way I was getting it back because it was going straight out for a rental. So unless they happened to pull it off the bottom when they were cleaning it, I doubt it because you wouldn't see it. It was clipped onto the side of a chassis rail, and the first time it actually made it 2 hours north to where these guys have their store, like have their yard for renting them out, and I just happened to be walking around in one of them, and I said, "Oh, I think, not sure, but I think that might be the one I left it underneath. Like the number plate was familiar." And popped my head underneath the back, and I was like, "Fucking there it is." I was still on there. All I had to do was charge it up, but I've fucking since done it again because I've been lying underneath, putting fucking back bumpers on and hooking lights up, and I'll be like clipping onto the chassis rail, and I've done one side and then done the other, and sometimes, you know, someone will come along and ask you a question, and you'll be basically finished, and you'll roll away and give them a hand, and then when you come back, because like it's quite bright and it's sort of shining up underneath where the wiring and stuff is, you know, where it's sort of darkish, forget the fucking thing. I've done it twice now. Pain now, so I'll have to go buy another one. First time I got away with it, second time, no. Anyway, we'll get back to this. Yeah, but if you want a work lamp that's really fucking good, bright as fuck, and those batteries will last quite a while on it, and if it goes flat, you just fucking swap it out and fucking keep going. You don't have to stop and charge the fucking thing. That's the best fucking thing about it. Righty, let's... What do I want to do? What do I want to do here? Just thinking, because I can't. What could I do this? Hopefully that's okay. I have to take. I might have to take the washer should model everything out, but I won't panic about that. What I'll do, I think is I'll get bolt, captive bolt there. There's a captive bolt down here too. I think what I'll do is I'll make a pattern and see if we can make that ready to put on. I'm probably going to have to cut it off through here, maybe. Let's do that. Oh, where's the roller tape? There. It's work like I said, screen. Just get this washed now, so if there's any grease, dirt, shit going on there, no fucking tape will stick. It's quite rusty out here too, isn't it? To clean all this up. And I'll spray it all with underseal when I'm finished. I think the biggest problem is there's no buckle drain holes in it, so the water can't get out very easy. You know what I mean? Hopefully some of this I can just clean up. You know what I mean? I have to do a little patching over here somewhere. So obviously you have to fix that. Fix that too. Until we end up doing this other side as well. Sneaky suspicion. That's right. It's quite crusty. We'll do what we can do. I think he's actually going to end up with a new. I think he was saying he wants to put a different radar support panel on here. I don't know. But it's obviously going to pass a safety check, so we're going to fix it. Take a couple of pictures and we'll be back. Righty, so I've cut out a couple of these bits to put on, which I should fucking get my mic. I can't remember what the fuck it is, to be honest. Sorry guys. It's been a while since I've been down here, I didn't even think about it. So I've got this made. So obviously you need to fold this up and then fold that edge up, and we'll see if that fits in there. I might make it a little square. Yeah, it's reasonably square. Or I might fold this edge first and then get an angle of the dangle for here. Right. So we'll do that. Get a nice square edge on here, and then we'll work out where that needs to be. I might just put a ruler in here and sort of have that flat against there, and then we can mark it relative to where it needs to be. So I'll fold that up, and then we'll mark that parallel. Should have a ruler or something here that I can poke in here and hold it flat, and then draw a line and so I get it nice and square. And then we can probably proceed to cut this off and pick shit away. Hopefully I can leave that capture nut underneath there. I'm hoping I can clean that up and not have to chop all that away. Yeah, at least we can open that up and we can repair in here too, and obviously we can cut this one, and we can just fold it back and we can just weld it on the edge to wherever. You know, if we've got to replace a bit of meat and underneath, we'll do that as well, obviously. But this piece here seems to be okay. This piece that comes down from here, the inner part of that guard seems to be okay at the moment. I'll forget that when we get a bit closer in. Yeah, and then obviously once we get this one sorted, we'll proceed to cleaning this up and do what we can here. We'll just have to work around this fucking thing. It is what it is. Yeah, and just go along. We'll clean up. There's a couple of dodgy bits in here, and we'll just keep moving across. And then at some point we'll dive into the floor piece and see what we're going to do there. Try to get a little closer if I can. Pointing down in here, so you can see that. Right. So we've got that marked. So what I want to do is use that black line as reference, but put that in there and hold that against that, so that's nice and square. Get me marker and just get a clean straight line. Actually, I'll turn this over because I've got a piece missing in the middle at the end, or I jammed it in a folder 20 years ago. But yeah, now I know that line is square, I can nick this corner out with the angle grinder, whatever, and proceed to bend that up, and then we can basically trim the rest of it away. Grind it, trim it, whatever. And then we can fold the other piece to meet it. Once we've sort of cleaned up everything in and around and underneath and whatever, then we can proceed to put that on and then just bend the other piece around and just tack it on, and then fully weld it and dress it up. And she's a good one. So I'll just nick this out with the angle grinder. Yes, I know I've got no guard on this one, but I find the battery operated ones are, unless you're doing something really fucking stupid, you don't explode discs. I find the corded ones are so much faster, and if you're doing weird shit, they will explode a disc. But I find these, as long as you're doing nice, clean, straight cuts, you never have an issue unless you fucking drop it, break the disc, and then just don't look. Yeah. Notification. Just trying to read it. But all good. Right, we'll go bend that edge and then we'll sit that in there and then we'll start chewing away at this thing. It's quickly bent up. So it fits in there nice. So depending on what we do here, I'm not too worried about this being on there, but you know, it's just a good point of reference. It makes me know I'm nice and square. We can put it in there, weld it in, whatever. I may end up cutting this off, but I'm going to just put a couple of holes in it, and once we've cut all this off, we'll just spot weld it on here and round the corners and make it look like it was spot welded up here, not down here. You know what I mean? Not that it matters, but yeah. Right, let's cut the worst this way, I guess. We'll just whip along here. up here and try and get into here with the angle grinder without having to take the fucking headlight out. I might actually just that bracket off on the road. Should have taken it off the ear instead of at the fucking horn, but it's alright. There's a bolt there too. That's handy. Okay, I won't do that then. Hold on. Ratchet. Regular old ratchet shit. We call it a straw ratchet. I should better get that out. So that's not me road. You know it's not on the road. I did take the headlight out of here. Not too stressed at the moment. If I have to, I will. If I have to, I will. Stand behind that light, get it on the floor. Right. Get that back in there. So you don't get cut off. Right, we'll just, I can see that this inner panel is behind that hole. There's a hole there. That's a factory hole. So I can see that's in behind there. So we'll cut up to that. We won't cut into the inner piece, if you know what I mean. We want to try and leave this bottom at this point if we have to, or if we can. Yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Well, let's take a couple pictures. Right, taking a couple pictures for customer reference and warrant man reference. Safety check man reference. Let's get a clean up in here. Get rid of some shit out of there. Find an air gun. I wonder what that is. Right, so we're making some progress here. So yeah, there's a second skin. So I got rid of the top skin, and there's obviously a second skin here, so we'll get rid of that. And then, as well, we'll just cut that back somewhere here. And see where that sort of joins in. And see what's underneath in here. So I might have to replace the bottom of this panel a little bit, and then put a second skin in, and then put the outer skin over top, and whatever. It seems okay in there. Like, I'm not going to go crazy mad, but we'll get it cleaned up so at least it looks solid and strong. Like, it's a full chassis truck, so like it's not as though it's going to collapse, but it's just they failed safety shit for it here for this stuff like this. You know what I mean? Yeah, we'll quickly get this off, and then it'll probably be lunchtime for me anyway. And I might try and give it a wee blast and treat it with some rust treatment once I get this off. Because this panel here seems to be okay. This inner skin, yeah, that seems to be okay. So yeah, as long as we get this all cleaned up and clean up in there, we should be good once we put a new bit of bottom on here. Weld that in, dress it, put the second skin on, and then we put the top on. We should be hopefully that should be all we need. Yeah. Or is there an extra piece on there that's fucking rotten too? No, there is another piece in there that's rotten too. That's right. I may have to. I don't know. I may have to cut a wee bit of this away to get in there to repair that, and then just weld it back and dress it up, and we'll find a fucking, when we paint, when we won't be painting, but I'll just get some whatever. Actually, I've probably got a little bit of that grey green left, which is won't be fucking far away for just a without putting any clear on it. I think. Or do I give it back to him? I'll have to check that. Oh, somebody's at the door again. At Mum's place. Yeah, we might have to just cut that away and repair a little bit in here. But anyway, we'll get this second skin away, and then yeah, we might cut up here and then so we can get in and repair it, but add a piece back to the bottom of it or something. Right, so we've got that cleaned up. We've got some rust kill in there. So I'm going to piss off, have some lunch, whatever, and come back and we'll start remaking some stuff. So obviously we're going to repair the bottom of this to go back on there, and we've got to repair that to go down to here to join back onto there. And so then once we've got that on, we can do that, and then we can put the second skin reinforcer, and then we can start putting the outside on, and we should be good. And I'll fix this individually. I'll cut this out and just pull out a little piece in there. I just want to keep that hole. That's why I sort of haven't cut that away yet. But once we get sort of close to putting this front piece on, I'll put a bit of 2mm in there and drill a hole in it, get that lined up, and then I'll find a bolt to weld to that and put it back in place, and then obviously we'll move over to here, and then I guess we're probably going to end up over there as well. We might as well fix the whole fucking thing, get it cleaned up, and whatever. But yeah, I think, I'm not 100%, but that green paint that I've had from the other truck, I have to double check whether it's here or not, but it's probably a bit dark, but just a wee coat of that in here. I probably doesn't matter, to be honest. I'll just put anything in there, just a bit of, might just put a bit of black in here or something like that, just spray all the, just dust some black in here or something. Actually, I might have, do I, or don't I? I might have a bit of that satin black that I put in around the window frames. Yeah, I do. Oh, I've actually got that green there too. But yeah, I've got plenty of that satin black, so I can probably, a bit of Caprethane at the end, maybe I can flick in amongst, when I do all this, I can probably flick that in there after I've texture coated the bottom of it too. I'll texture coat up underneath the guard and clean it up, and then spray satin black in here. I'll just mask all this shit off and just spray it all satin black so it's nice and clean and tidy, and it looks really good. And then obviously we'll fix underneath the floor. But that'll do in the meantime. So, welcome back. Hope you can hear me alright. Like, again, I forgot the microphone dealio. I just haven't used this much lately. So we got this piece here. That's the other day. My car all outside the shit away. Made, those bits here. Made some pieces to start putting back on. And also we took this off so we can get in there. Let's put that back off. We get some pieces in here. Right, so we fixed rotten piece here, just attach the piece back in here. We cut this off so we can get in there and clean up in here. And we've treated it, sprayed some weld through primer in amongst it and whatever. So now we can put this back on and then put this back on under here once we trim it to feel a wee bit nicer. And then I'll just run that on the belt sander and just that up and just make so that edge is a bit better. And we can weld these back on, weld across here and down here again. And then we've got the other bits made up, this piece to fit in here, which we'll probably trim down. And then this piece here is to go back over here and get bent around over there once we've sort of get this on and weld that all up together. And then after we'll finish, we'll spray some shit in around it. And then we'll proceed to move over some of these other rustier spots as well. And try and get across this thing and the floor done before the end of the weekend and tidy it up and put that together as much as it come together here. So yeah, we'll get into this and I'll just get working. I won't talk too much because I just need to get shit done, but I still want to film it. Yeah, so you can see the belt sander over there with the yellow button on. I'll just quickly whip that over and we'll carry on. Should be good enough. Yeah, it's fucking way nicer. Fucking way nicer gap within seconds. That quite a, I wouldn't say quite a gap, but a reasonable gap there before. But yeah, but without getting too fussy holding that together, you can only see a little bit of daylight through there now. No, there was bits that were, probably had a gap that much. We just followed down the high spots and put it together, you know what I mean? It should be good. Anyway, flip the camera back around and we'll get ourselves set up here with the welder and shit and get out the little roll-locks and clean out the back. Let's blow a bit of copper on there and put it together. Anyway, so I've got that welded in there. I'm having fucking compressors. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, two fucking almost dead ones. Well, there's two dead ones over there. That yellow one hasn't gone for years. I was trying to see if I could actually get it to go. Way back. But anyway, so yeah, the one that got for here, the triple, hasn't gone for quite a while. And I think it's a starter issue, but it's the third one. You know, in a matter of like I haven't been working here very regularly for quite a long time now. Like at least, I don't know, shit, 15. September, October, November, December. Yeah, about 15 months, 16 months, I guess. Haven't been working in here regularly. And not long before I went and started working in the other workshop, that's when it started playing up and it died eventually. It just won't start it. But, so I thought, oh shit, I'll bring the old man's one down here just to give me a little bit of air when I'm down here, off and on. And now it's dropped the cylinder. It's still pumping, but it won't keep up with fucking any of my little power tools now, or little ear sanders, which is an absolute fucking pain in the ass. But anyway, so yeah, as much as I actually thought the tool shed stuff was okay, it's fucking garbage. Whether or not they got a new series out. Sorry, they got a new series out, which is red. Maybe they might be better. I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe. I don't fucking know. But it is what it is. I'm just trying to map out what I need to cut away here. A hole in there, right? Factory hole. Try to see if I can limit that. Which might be a bit of a pain in the fucking ass, to be honest. It's like a hole like that, because again, the air compressor's dying, and I just don't have the cash to go fucking buy another one, which is the worst problem. Anyway, so I need to cut this off. I'll lay that in there, tack that in, whatever, and then I really need to get a bit of 1 mil, well not 1 mil, probably a square 2, nick this out, but get that there, left there, or trying to decide. Fucking pain in the ass. Kind of fucking pretty rotten there. Fucking rust, eh? The biggest problem is you have the compressor. But yeah, if I could cut a bit of 1.6 maybe, and just weld a new piece here, and get that bolt hole, and weld that in behind as well. Weld it up on there first, probably, before I weld it in. We'll just weld it. Just trying to think. We'll just weld a fresh bit over the top. But weld it breaking off. We'll fix that anyway. But yeah, I need to trim that to fit down in here, because I'm not going to get rid of this, mainly because I haven't got a fucking compressor. I was thinking about dismantling some of that, but I'll probably just leave it alone, I think, and just make it sort of match, and then somewhere here cut an oval one here, with a hole saw and whatever. Well, not a hole saw, it's just a step drill. Yeah, it's pretty close. So I might bang a hole in there with the step drill first. Try and open that up. And then we can just tidy up a little bit with a die grinder or something. Then get a little bout sanded just quickly. Yeah, then bang some holes in here. We'll have that on there. Have to wait, spray some freaking copper shit in there first and clean this up. But yeah, then tack that on there and then fix this. Actually, might fix that first. Fix this first. Put that on there and then proceed to put that other piece on there.
Audio Jungle.
Alrighty, yuck. I was flipping this freaking welder off for a second. Right. Now that that's shut up. This ain't pretty in here, unfortunately. Yeah. Wasn't quite what I was expecting because this is in here. There's a hole in here too. But it's actually just the outer, this outer piece. It's a bit bulged there and whatever. But it's not actually rotten. Well, I wouldn't say it's not rotten, but it's not too bad. It's reasonably solid. But this here is just gone. And here, like, there's a little bit of metal left down in here, but most of it's gone, like even in the body mount. And the bolt doesn't look real good. Like, ideally, it would be nice to undo, say, maybe the, I don't know, the main body mounts, if you could get them off and like just lift the body off the chassis only a wee bit, you know what I mean? Maybe a fucking couple of inches or more, just to get a wee bit of better access in here. But I think we'll just fucking, we'll kind of just hide what we can fucking see within reason. We'll put steel back in it, but I really need this off, like off, or at least the body mount out of the road and shit to repair it properly. Like, you really actually need to get this off so you can get in here. Like, you'd actually rebuild this whole section and put a new piece in there. But for one, I don't have a body mount bolt, so I reckon this would break. And I don't have a body mount bush, so I'm just gonna leave it the fuck alone. It's a bit of a cunt, but it just is what it is, if you know what I mean. I don't like to use it in that term, but you know what I mean. So, what I'm going to do is this piece isn't really big enough. It might be. My thought was, being a little flange up here, just put a couple of plug welds in here, back onto this, where it's, I wouldn't say it's solid, but it's reasonable. Put a couple of dirty plug welds into here, give it a wee clean up, and then just have a plate come out to here, and then weld it back onto here somewhere, and sort of trying to hide it here, and then weld it back up, and then like obviously put another piece. If I can get it actually in one piece from here down across the flat, and then back up the front to here, I will. Except for we have to be nosy, but yeah, just try and put it under here as much as possible and just hope like hell that this isn't seen, and then just spray it in some fucking underbody sealer and just hide it in the meantime. He really actually needs to replace this whole radio support panel. Really, ideally, you'd get a, I don't know whether you can get an aftermarket one or whatever, and just pick this whole fucking panel off and just throw the whole fucking lot away and put a fresh one on. Yeah, ideally. Like even this is okay. This is an okay repair, but it's not. It's still not as probably as strong as what this is, but it's not that bad, you know what I mean? But yeah, and we'll just tidy this side up, I think, and just put a bit of a patch in there and just try and kind of. The worst thing too is that you can't get these out of the road to try and clean up in here very nicely. We'll do the best we can. We might even have to just smear a little bit of filler on and just level it out and make it look a bit better, you know, and then just blow shit over top. Anyway, what do we need to get in here? 2 inches there, or a bit over 50 mil. What do we need this in? About 65, so about fucking 2.5. Yeah, about 2.5 mil to this edge. $51, $52 to that edge, and then about 3.5 inches, or a little over 3.5 inches, or about 90, about 93, 92, 93 mil. That's slightly skew width, but we'll just slide it. We'll put a wee kick in it, you know, put a wee weld across the back, and yeah, just try and hide it the best we can in the meantime. It's not something I like doing, but it's fucking, you know what I mean? Without diving in with that, if I had the body mounts for the front and I knew I could get the other ones out, I would try and fix it properly and actually go backwards into here a bit, but you know what I mean? I didn't actually realise it was this bad. It wasn't until I knocked a bit of a hole in there and I was like, oh, okay, that's fucked. Right, let's find a bit of, actually thought that might have been big enough, but it's not. So we'll find a bit of panel steel and we'll fold it up, zap that in there, hide it the best we can in there, and then we'll just put a piece on top and we'll fucking just blend it in and make it look pretty. Anyway, so I'll give it a wee break from around the front and just have a wee nosy here and see what the fuck's going on here with this floor. So yeah, I might just have a quick, I don't know, I just don't know how fuck easy this seat is going to be to get out, because it's bloody, didn't realise it's a bloody electric, so that's a real pain in the ass. But I'll see if I can get it unbolted and maybe get the carpet out of this corner, pull this trim out if I can, pull that trim out, see if I can get the seat out of the road and at least get the carpet back, and everybody knows what's going on here. And again, yeah, see what we can do anyway. Light's flashing at me, so it's just about flashing. I didn't charge it properly, but see if we get this fucking seat out of the road anyway. Briefly. Let's just say, fuck. Righty. Hopefully this fucking camera shot works. Not easy to get a decent shot in here. Bring the light over to you. Alrighty. So we've got all this rot in this floor that we're going to cut out. So I'm going to try not to go too far in here. I'm going to have a quick look underneath and just make sure there's no fuel lines or brake lines or anything underneath here. I don't think so, but we'll have to have a quick look. So I'll lie down on the ground and we'll have a nosy. But yeah, I'm going to have to make a patch up at least, I don't know, a piece along here anyway to get this piece, but also from across here somewhere. Maybe we'll try and get a couple of patches. We'll see. Just I'm going to really struggle to try and clean this up too, which is the biggest fucking pain in the ass because of the way the compressor is. But I might have a wee nosy at the compressor and see if I can get that other big bastard to go. I don't know whether I can swap capacitors over from that other compressor to make it work. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure what's wrong with that other one. I just never had time to take it in to get it sorted. But also it's a fucking management problem. But yeah, it's a bit of a mess in here, unfortunately. God, it breeze is cold too. Anyway, yeah, she's not so hot, unfortunately, but nothing we can't sort of tie you up anyway, and at least improve the situation. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame that it's fucking so rotten. Anyway, didn't realise it was quite, well, I wouldn't say quite so bad, but just, yeah, quite so fucking ugly. And it's to get some solid steel to fucking weld back to is the biggest problem too. Anyway, have a quick wee look at this compressor now. We'll come back. Right, I had success. So, short update from the other day. Right, I put up a video the other day just with frustration with these two compressors. So, got this one working. I actually swapped the cap out of that, the starter cap, even though it's not the same capacity. This is, what is it, 300? Whatever that is. Yeah, I kind of understand, but I don't understand it. So it's almost exactly the same, except for that's 250, that's 300. So that's the cap out of that one. So out of desperation, I thought, I'll swap it over. We'll see if that's, because this has been replaced. And I know this has been at the shop 3 times, right? So maybe these are just fucking crap capacitors. Or caps, or fucking whatever you want to call them. So I swapped that one into the air, and as soon as I turned it on, it fired straight up. So I was like, fucking yes. But we've still got a dead cylinder here, right? But I don't know, but this here is very, 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 very similar to this thing here that's like 20 years old. This is very, very similar. This has still got compression. You can hear it, like it's still on a pump. So my thought is, strip this down, see what the diameter of the piston is, and whatever, right? See if this is the same, like this, and the piston. See if they're the same as this. Not sure, maybe. And if it is, I'll swap it into that and get that going again, and we'll get a better, so we can find a better quality cap to put on this, and this will keep this fucking thing going. Hopefully. And that'll fix that breathing problem, so I can take that back around to mum and dad's, and then we can keep this going. And what I'll do is I'll use this tank. It's just extra reserve, so that's only 40 litres. I thought this was 100, but it might be 70, I think. Oh, where's the capacity of this fucking thing? It might be only, is it 70? This one that's 70, I think it doesn't say. It says 3 horsepower. I think that's 100. That might be still only 40. It might be 50. Is it? I'm not sure. I'm just trying to decipher. I'm trying to work out what I can do to improve my situation here, if you know what I mean, with compressors without spending a fucking shitload of money. Oh, where's that fucking rag? Man, I need to clean this place up. Not here very often. But yes, need to clean this place up. A lot of this mess is not me. A lot of it is, but a lot of it is. Hold on a minute. You're right. So yeah, that's 70. That's 50. And this is 40. So if we get this sorted out, I can have that as extra reserve tank. It'll give me an extra 40 litres instead of 50 litres. And we can take that back to mum and dad's if I can get it, swap the parts. If not, we'll just, once if we can get the parts to fix it. Pain in the fucking ass. I don't know why it's died in that one cylinder, but that there with an extra 40 litres of capacity, so what I could do is put that up back underneath there. We'll see, we'll get some new filters for the fucking thing, and we might put the tank, I don't know, somewhere in the system. not sure. Maybe even just sit it underneath here as extra capacity. But yeah, it just means that we can, whatever, and I'll try and see if I can work it so, I don't know if I can get it so we get a better feed in, so we're not restricted by this thing, you know what I mean, or whatever. I'll have to do some wee bit of working out, but this would be quite handy as just an extra reserve tank, you know what I mean, for a bit extra air capacity around the workshop. Like ideally, a bigger compressor would be really fucking nice, but that works quite okay. To be honest, if I could get that working again and get that working again, I'd actually run the two in tandem in here, because that with pumping as well, that's like 4 cylinders with 110 with 110 litres of thing would be even better, you know what I mean? But not, and all I could do is just get them to sink in so that they click in and clock, well, not so much click off at the same time, but click in at the same time. And see if I can, because I know that actually winds up pretty, actually, I used to get some really good pressure out of that. I think up to about 130 or 140 psi, whereas that there, for some weird reason, for the pressure switch is set quite low, and I've tried to get it to run higher, and I can get it to run higher, but then the load switch blows off, if you know what I mean. So I don't know. I haven't done a lot of research into it. I just tried one day to wind it so it would click off later to get a bit more pressure in there, but they're set low for some fucking reason, you know what I mean, like a 130 or 140 psi out of that, something like that would be more beneficial than say like 100 or 110. Just gives you a bit more oomph to last a little bit longer. Anyway, got that sorted. We'll cover that back up later when we get the right cap, and we'll at some point have a look at this, but I need to get this done. So now that I've got some some decent pressure again, we can use both tanks. I think I got that open, have I? Yeah, that's open. Yeah, cool. So yeah, that helps. That makes a big difference. All right, let's get back into fixing this fucking truck. Righty, so we've got that hole cleaned up. Down here, reasonably cleaned up. We won't look too hard down in there. It's not pretty down in there either. It's pretty fucked on the inside of that. But anyway, so yeah, we've got that cleaned up. We've made a rough patch at this stage. So it's just put a bit of a curve in it. I've actually just marked roughly where I wanted the that curve. Just slipped it into the back of the slip roller, like just slipped it into there, obviously when it was flat, and just pulled it up, and then the other side just put it in the folder and just gave it a wee kick up, and then just trimmed off what we didn't need. So now I am going to, what I've done was, well, explain what I've done here. So I'll obviously laid it on the floor, held it down with that hunk of steel for the press, and proceeded to mark around where our hole is, or what I can draw around. Obviously I can't draw around through here because the floor brace is in the road. But that's alright, we can guess. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my little step and hole punch tool and just measure how deep that is. Well, my flanger tool, yeah, measure how deep that is, roughly, and trim this back. Just trim this back roughly from that edge, about the same depth as what that is. So when I go around along and flange that edge, this will sit up and that edge will sit down, so we'll flange it like using the tool this way to push that edge down, so when we sit it in, and then obviously to plug weld it in round, and we'll do a few welds from underneath and then just seam seal it, and then we'll proceed to do the inside patch. But we need to get a rough measurement of what that is, trim it off, and go from there. But yeah, I'll quickly do that, and then I'm going to go have some lunch. Right, so I've trimmed that off, flanged the edge. I thought I'd turn the camera on. Sorry. The other thing I want to do is where these dimples are on the floor, it's just to, sorry I'm holding the cap in my mouth, just to beat or whatever, so these fit over these bits at some point. But I'm going to have some lunch. But yeah, we just need to make a little impression in there so it kind of mimics what the floor was originally before we... It didn't actually go much further than that anyway, wherever that bit of shitty floor is now. Yeah. Where is that? That was down here. Yeah. So it did go through there, but it doesn't have to go all the way through. But I could find one of those beads and just fucking roll a bit of a bead into place and see if I can find something that's close in amongst the bead roll stuff. It doesn't have to be perfect, as long as it's reasonable. Anyway, we'll do that and carry on. Alrighty, so I got this finished last night. Haven't really shown much. You can see in here, it's got it all sealed up, whatever. Same underneath. I'm just coming back down here to put it back together. Got all this all coated and sealed up and whatever. So it looks good and tidy and whatever as well. Bit of crap off there. Same around here, cleaned all that up and sprayed some shit down in there. So it's all done now. So I'm just gonna throw it back together and yeah, let the guy know and they can come pick it up. Throw that in there. If it still fits. Should do, hopefully. But yeah, so I'm just gonna bang it back together and get it out and done. Had the batteries on, well, that battery on the charge. I think that's the main starter one, so I'll get it all back together and then throw the batteries back on and hook the batteries back up and go from there. Should be good to go. Yeah, I didn't film much last night because I was just trying to get it done, and it was just mainly I did a wee patch in here, like how this was rotten here. I did a wee patch in here, just a small one. Didn't have to go any crazy, and I just cleaned this up over here, and then just slathered it and frickin' just stone guard under seal stuff, which is this stuff here. I've used it quite a few times before. I like this product. It goes on blue and then dries black. That's quite good. And it's paintable and whatever, but just gives a nice finish, and then it just helps protect whatever. Anyway, and I see them sealed the crap out of everything too, so that's good. Nice and clean, tidy, and yeah, like protected. So, you know, Carol, we'll throw it together and